Hey. Welcome back, everybody, to Bad Film Good, the podcast where we look at poorly rated movies and we ask the question, is this bad film good? My name is Declan.
And I'm Aiden.
Aiden comes with free with COVID today.
Yeah, this is...
Well, maybe. We're not sure.
The special COVID, potentially COVID lockdown special. I might have COVID, I might not. I've done a PCR test, haven't got the results yet. We'll see.
Yeah. So he'll sound pretty rough.
Yeah.
Please excuse him.
Coughing through the whole episode, and it's going to be great.
Yeah, we love those laugh coughs. So, but this week we're going to be looking at a very different kind of film, I think, to the ones we've done before, mostly.
Yeah.
Tarzan and Jane.
The classic, the Disney classic that you all know and love.
Not Tarzan 2, because that is a different film.
Yeah.
It's Tarzan and Jane. And yeah, we'll get into that. But before we get into Tarzan and Jane, what is Shrekking this week?
Skibbity-bop-bop.
Skibbity-bop. Shrek.
What is Shrekking this week? Well, this is an article from ITM, InsideTheMagic.com. And it says, Universal guest publicly defecates after exiting Shrek attraction.
Oh no, it's a scat story.
It's just for you. Just for you, a special scat story.
God damn it.
So yeah, I like the way that the article's written, because it's so much waffle, as is to be expected. But it starts off, it's like, when you have to use the bathroom at a theme park, typically you're only steps away from the nearest toilet. This is so that guests do not feel like they need to go out of their way or to disrupt their theme park experience immensely. That being said, it seems that some guests have had issues holding it in. Universal Orlando Resort is one of those theme parks that gives guests clean, accessible bathrooms within a few steps.
I feel like they wrote this with a gun to their head by Universal Studios, and they were like, okay, you can complete the story, fine, but you better tell them how goddamn good our toilet services are.
Yeah,
just how accessible we are. It's not our fault.
Literally, this bit. I mean, this is just so clearly written by fucking Universal. But like, listen to this. It would likely take you 1 minute or less from any area of Universal Studios Florida or Islands of Adventure to go to the nearest bathroom. In brackets it says, which is incredibly convenient for guests.
And then he's like, and while you're on your way, why don't you pick up one of our Universal snackadoos?
Snackadoos?
I don't know. I was like, what kind of
Come
food
get your snackadoos. Gather round, everyone. We've got snackadoos for all. A snackadoo here and a snackadoo there. What would you like, little boy? I want a snackadoo with a side of shit. Coming right up. Snackadoos.
My brain went ice cream, sandwiches, snackadoo.
Ice cream sandwiches. A snackadoo,
maybe.
Of course. Sorry.
Yeah, that's a snackadoo.
Yeah, sorry, I completely got you wrong there. Yeah, snackadoos. Come get your ice cream sandwiches. And then he gets like hit on the head by his manager. He's like, we call them snackadoos. It's trademarked. We call them snackadoos, otherwise you're fucking fired. Like,
we will buy your access to all toilets.
Which is so conveniently placed.
Yeah. No, you have to go to the most inconveniently placed toilet on the island.
Which is still only 5 minutes away from the...
Yeah, that launches into a speech.
But anyway, snackadoos aside, the article says, as we have discussed, some guests have, in the past, decided that they were going to urinate publicly.
Hey!
Where? Where have they discussed it? One guest was reported doing so in the Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey queue, and another outside the E.T. Adventure attraction. To read more about what happened to the guest, you can click here. Anyway.
What? A guest pissed here. To find out more details about what happened with this, click here.
Literally. Now, we've heard that another guest went number 2 at the exit of Shrek 4D, in brackets, an attraction that will be closing next year in 2022. We've discussed that already. It's quite sad. Universal guest Marco N. They fucking named him.
Name and shame.
Oh, no, sorry. It's not it's not him. But Universal guest Marco N. was once exiting the attraction when he noticed another guest in front of him could not make it to the bathroom. In haste, Marco witnessed that guest ended up publicly defecating on the stairs. As you can imagine, not only is this embarrassing for the guest, but it would have ruined the experience of the other guests around him, as well as put the team members in a very unfortunate situation of having to clean it up. And then the rest of the article is like, Shrek 4D, is that
I thought it was going to be, this guy, he witnessed this, and then what was the phrasing? It's like, I thought it was going to be, he had some quick reaction to
scoop it up with his hat.
to just whip it away.
With his snackadoo wrapper.
Yeah. Hey, buddy, don't be a chump. Shit in this.
In this snackadoo bucket. You know how snackadoos come in buckets?
Yeah. Is snackadoo a thing?
I don't know.
It probably is. I feel like it is. Let me look it up. Let me do snackadoo. Snackadoo. Urban Dictionary. When you don't exactly look like a snack, but you'll do. Bitch, I'm a whole snackadoo.
I've got one here. I've just looked it up. It says snackadoo, a trademark universal snack consisting of sandwiches and ice cream.
You always get me. You always. You say I've got one, and I'm like, all right. Snackadoo, a trademark, and then as soon as it's universal, it's like, fucking did it again.
Anyway, this week we're looking at Tarzan and Jane.
Yeah, so I was just thinking about those snackadoos. Sorry. We looked at Tarzan and Jane, which can be found, of course, on Disney Plus, hidden away somewhere in the kind of the dingy, cobweb-ridden corners of Disney Plus. You search Tarzan, it's like, are you sure you don't mean Tarzan or Tarzan 2 or probably some other Tarzan related?
George in the Jungle, maybe.
Yeah, maybe the live-action movie or something on there. Like, do you not want one of these? And you're like, no, I want Tarzan and Jane. You can see how much effort they put into it because it just describes it as Tarzan and Jane celebrate their first year in the jungle.
What? And that's it?
That's it. That's all it says. Which I guess, yeah.
I mean, to be fair, there's not much to this
I mean,
film.
I think we've established this. Disney Plus, they're concise with their descriptions. They don't fuck around.
They've got your money already. They don't care.
Yeah, exactly. They have your money. They're just like, look, Tarzan and Jane are in this. Just, you know this.
You're going to watch it. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We've got it. It doesn't affect us. We made our money.
But please stay subscribed.
Yeah. Continue to fund this mouse.
But give us some facts about this film.
Yes, so if you haven't seen Tarzan and Jane, basically what happens is Tarzan and Jane pretend that they're in a Family Guy episode, and then remember the time that Jane invited her friends to. Sorry, I've written.
All right,
Jane invited her friends to Coke, as in to have Coke. Maybe I don't know.
When did you make these notes? These are COVID brain notes.
These are COVID brain notes. Yeah. No, Jane invites her friends to come to the jungle and then get eaten by jaguars. Okay. Then the time Tarzan got into the blood diamond trade. And then that one time that Jane fucked a pilot and Tarzan got really jealous, so killed him in cold blood or something, and then they bang, whatever. It was made in 2002. It was directed by Stephen Lotter and Victor Crook, starring Steve Buscemi, Michael T. Weiss, Olivia Debeau, April Winchell, and Jim Cummings. So this film was direct to video, which is unsurprising. And it's basically compiled of 3 unaired episodes of the television series Legend of Tarzan, which when you hear that makes so much more sense.
One of my notes is literally, it's highlighted, and I said the whole thing feels like a kid's animated show.
Exactly. So what they did was they got
validated.
3 episodes, 3 uninterlinking episodes, put some filler in the middle, and then just put it on a DVD and sold it to a bunch of kids. So that
easy money.
So given that I don't have any data for budget, I guess it'd be hard to
right.
calculate.
Yeah, that makes sense. They threw some editor like a tenner.
Yeah.
Just shove these clips together and then, I don't know, splice the voices from these other clips, and that's how it works, right?
Yeah, that's it. It's got 5.3 out of 10 on IMDb, 17% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it doesn't have a Metacritic score.
Oof, couldn't even be bribed.
No, couldn't even be bribed. But hey, look, if I've got 3 unaired episodes of Tarzan, what was it? Tarzan Adventure? No, Legend of Tarzan.
Yeah.
And look, I've got the budget of £10. What have you got for me?
£10 and an editor who's not had sleep in 36 hours.
It's an editor. He's from Fiverr. Just pay someone on Fiverr to do it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I've got this. Bootleg Tarzan plays Minecraft while blonde-haired, muscular men attempt to destroy his island.
Amazing. Well, I'm making it either way. It's going to video.
Yeah, it's going straight to video.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
It'll sit in the corner of Disney Plus with what other weird things they got on there. There's so many weird. You do the Disney Plus deep dive.
Yeah, it's like the fucking. I was gonna say Lord of the Rings, but it's Lion King.
Like that that film, that straight to video film, Lord of the Rings.
What even is that?
Yeah, all as one film.
But it's like Lion King, but it's like Timon and Pumbaa's Great Adventure. Shit.
Hold up, hang on. Stop the podcast. Stop the podcast. Don't chat shit about Lion King 3. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's probably called like Hakuna Matata or something. But that shit slapped. I watched that film way more than I watched the other two. The other two are fucking great, but my god, I loved Lion King 3. You see it through the eyes of Timon and Pumbaa, and it's like, oh hey, that bit where they're like, I just can't wait to be king, and like that whole sequence. Well, they all fall over because of like Timon and Pumbaa. Like they do something dumb shit, and then they get like they stand on somebody's tail, and then it causes a chain reaction. They all fall over, and it's just them like behind the scenes doing like a fucking thing across the whole of the first film or something. It's just.
So is it 3 or is it 1.5?
No, it's called Lion King 3.
Okay, because there's 1.5.
Let me
oh no, it's the same. Yeah, it's the same thing.
On topic.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Lion King 1.5 or 3.
Lion King 3.
I was gonna say
Hakuna Matata. I told you. Yeah.
We should. I was gonna say we should definitely do this, but it's actually rated quite highly.
Yeah, it's super. Yeah, look at that, 78% on Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah. That's higher than Eternals, isn't it? Lion King 1.5 gets higher than that. 4.6 out of 5 on Amazon UK. 6.5 out of 10 on IMDb. Hell yeah.
All right, well, yeah. You proved me wrong.
We'll save that for when we do Good Film Bad.
Yeah, Good Film Bad, our rival podcast. Yeah. Well, so let's get into the dumb shit then. Let's wade through this mountain of dumb shit.
Skibbity right in there.
So, like, my first note is like, it's obviously different voice actors.
Yeah,
and it's not great. But the worst thing is that at the start they play a song from the original and just sing over the top of it. They don't even splice it in.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like a duet now because it's Tarzan and Jane that are singing it, but it's kind of jarring because she just suddenly comes in like, 2 worlds,
yeah,
one family.
And it's
You're
like,
oh,
it's just like,
where's Phil Collins?
Yeah, Phil Collins is just like jamming, and then it's like this random one that's like burst into the recording booth. Like, 2 worlds, one family.
And then you hear her like, she gets like tackled by the security, and they're like, "I'm sorry, Mr. Collins," and he's like, "What did I tell you? Get her out of here!"
Yeah. And they're like, "Oh fuck it, we'll just use that for the Tarzan and Jane thing. No one's gonna watch it." Straight
and he's like, "Son of man!" Yeah, it's. I mean, it literally like most of these films that just sets the tone.
Yeah,
because like the animation style. Again, it makes so much more sense that it is definitely from. It's what I thought it was. It's from a TV show because it's literally like a bootleg Tarzan. The animation style is all. It looks like it's hand drawn, but it's just so kind of like it that makes sense because there's different points where it looks differently styled, like to a degree. Like sometimes it's way more kind of rough, sometimes it's a bit more polished.
Yeah. Definitely.
Looks. I wonder if the more polished stuff is the stuff they added in. I don't know. Oh, maybe not.
I think.
Sure. But it's definitely. Or no, maybe the other way around. Maybe the more polished stuff is the actual episodes, and then the little bits that they just kind of threw in. That actually seems to make sense. The bits that they had to throw in to stitch them together to make it into a film seemed a lot more rough, from what I remember.
I mean, it all looks rough.
It all looks rough, but like there's rough and there's rough. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, so you kind of introduced to this thing. The two of them are just sliding around free in the jungle. Singing 2 worlds and having a blast. It's funny when I haven't seen Tarzan in so long, but just they're sliding around and then they stop and they're like, "Whoa, that was fun," and she's like, "Ah, yes." We've been married a year now.
Yeah,
you're looking at Tarzan just crawling around on the floor and all the trees and shit, and just being like, "Wow!" It's just like, I love the jungle. I was like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah, and like I mean, it's kind of like pulls into the first film as well. But there's so many questions about fucking that whole thing, like the fact that she's married to Tarzan for a year. But I was like, that's not legal though, right? Like, surely, because it's just them and her dad in the jungle. So like, and a bunch of animals. So it's just
just do it.
And surely, like, I know she was like, "I fucking love the jungle," but like after a year, surely you'd be like, "I'm fucking sick of just swinging." They're just like, she's like,
"Oh
what
God,
I've
heard about this. I've heard about this new thing called Squid Game. I really want to watch it, but I'm in the jungle."
Yeah.
Don't get service out here.
She's like, "What should we do today, Tarzan?" And he's like, "We swing and then fling shit." It's like, oh, great. And again,
he's just like, "We swing, then we fuck."
Yeah, and that's the other thing.
That's it.
Like, I know this is definitely more in the first one as well, but like he's a man, yeah, but he's still like spent what, like 30 years, let's say, maybe a bit less.
He's probably, yeah.
He looks about 30, and like so he's been around apes for 30 years, being brought up with them, communicating with them, and then suddenly this sexy lady comes from England, and he's like, "Yeah, I can speak English. I can do it."
Well, like, I think he definitely she taught him how to speak proper, like mostly proper English, pretty quickly in a year. I mean, a year can be a while, but like it's not like he's living in Britain and he has to quickly learn, because I think in the original film he's just like, you know, Tarzan, me, who, right?
Yeah,
and then you get to this, and it's like, oh, we're a year in, and he's like, "Dear, would you like me to hunt some alligator?"
What should we do today, Jane? I'm quite vexed that your friends have come. You know, like,
yeah.
And I was like, not only is he not fucking spoke English before. He's never spoken any human language before. He would it's literally the same as teaching an ape to speak English. It is literally the same. And I was like, there's no way he could talk to you. A couple words at most. He should be she should be like, oh, Tarzan, I love the jungle. What should we have for lunch today? Should we have some marmalade? And he's like,
he's just like an ape. He's just like,
just like, fruit.
He just punches her.
Yeah, he grabs her by the hair, drags her off, and then fucks her. That should be what Tarzan is. Because he's just an animal.
Yeah. I mean, if we're going to get to the base roots of Tarzan, Actually, I hit my chest pretty hard there. I was getting into the spirit of the ape. Oh man! I mean, he has a great line in the beginning. That they're swinging around and they're playing like, what do you call it, like jungle tag or something. They called it.
Bullshit.
It's like, you know, they vine tag or something. You got to swing around and tag each other. And then he's looking at her and he's like, "You act more like an ape every day." And she's like, "What the fuck?" And I was like, classic stud line.
Yeah, fucking, you ape now.
You act more like ape every day.
Come, poo in your hand and throw it.
Look at this wise old man. Come now, child. Poop in your hand. The ways of the jungle.
And she's like, oh, Tarzan, how lovely.
How charming.
I'm shitting in my hand. Oh, my.
But this is, I think, he says that classic stud line in the first, like, flashback. Because so in the beginning, I think, they go swinging around, and then he's like, hey, you want to do that more? And she's like, no, I'm all right, I think. I was like, yeah, after a year of just like, let's go swing in the jungle.
That's what I'm saying. She's bored to death.
Yeah. Imagine them sit there and she's like, so what do you want to do? And he's like, we can swing. And she's like, fuck, this guy is swinging. All right, fine, we'll do it. But he wants to go swing near a waterfall. And she's like, I'm all right. I'm gonna go do some other stuff. And then she's talking to the elephant and the little gorilla.
Yeah, which also brings up a lot of questions, but we'll just it.
Because I guess she can. Yeah, because she can just like talk to them now. Couldn't she not understand them before? Is that like a thing? Because
I don't know.
I mean, okay, we're not gonna do it. Okay, she's has a universal translator.
Sex with a man ape, like fucking whatever.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, so she's talking to them, and they're like, hey, what's got you down? And she's like, oh, all he wants to do is swing around, but it's our 1 year anniversary, and I've been married to this ape man for a year, and I wish he'd be a bit more civilized and do something nice and celebrate it. And they're like, well, I mean,
you did marry an ape.
He is a savage.
He has no concept of anniversary or anything. Yeah. Anything outside this small section of the jungle, he has no concept of. So, not sure what you expected.
But then they're like, hey, I think they're saying about the fact that he doesn't like being civilized, or it's not his world, or whatever. And they're like, do you remember that time? And it's like, and then it flashbacks to the episode where
it's literally
her sisters or something come to see them.
It's her friends, I think. So,
is it just her friends? They just go to Africa. They turn up and they start hitting Tarzan with umbrellas and pulling Jane away and being like, we'll save you, Jane, from this savage wild man. And I was like, wait, so you were worried about your friend who went on an expedition with her father to the jungle in like is it the Amazon? Is that where they are?
I thought it was the Amazon, but then they do say Africa later.
Oh, they said Africa? Yeah, so they're in Africa, like very far away from the UK. They're in Africa, and these three women are like, "Oh, we're concerned about our friend, so we are going to." And this is like 1800s or something, right? This is like Victoria or something, because it's so we're gonna go and sail a ship or something to Africa to go and save our friend, and then they get there and she's like, "No, fuck off! I'm married to him, to this ape man." And then the fat one. Because there's three of them, and classically, of course, you've got to have the tall, skinny one, the fat one, and then the other. I can't remember what the other one is. But then
the redhead.
Yeah, probably. But then one of them is just suddenly like, "Oh, we'll save you from this savage, wild man," and she starts like blinking her eyes at him and like twiddling her fingers and stuff. And I was like, "What? Now you want to fucking? What are you doing? Where did this come from?"
And they're like.
They just showed up and saw this dude, and she was like, "Wow, Juarez!"
But they're like, "Oh, they're like, oh, you're Jane. You're not very ladylike anymore. This isn't very good." And she's like, "Yeah, I live in a fucking jungle." So I don't know why she's so bothered about, because she's like, "Oh, you're right. I'm not very ladylike."
She's like a bit homesick or something.
Yeah, I'll throw a picnic or some shit. And I was like, yeah, but your day consists of not dying from hunger, not dying from being eaten, not dying from falling from a tree.
To be fair, they do have this like scientific
disease.
Research camp where I think they get supplies probably and all this kind of stuff. But there is, yeah.
It's just like,
she's swinging around.
Exactly. It's like ladylike. Fuck yeah, that's out of the question.
But again, it feels very much like that formula of it being episodic, because everything happens quite quick, and you have all these scenes where everything just kind of flies by. You've got the three women are I think they're out in the jungle or something. I don't remember what they're doing, and you get these two panthers that show up, and Tarzan just kind of jumps down and then like growls at them, and they run away or something.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh shit, it's Tarzan."
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, it's fucking Tarzan, isn't it? Cool, king of the jungle, I'm gonna leave." But then they back later and they fight him then. But yeah, I don't know. They kind of show up and then they run away.
Tarzan's... sorry.
Oh, no. Well, yeah, go on.
Well, I was just gonna say, Tarzan's a fucking like alpha prime male as well, because he's like, she's trying to be civilized with her friends, and they're like having tea or something, and he just like storms into the room, goes like right up to their face and goes, "I got fruit," and he's like dribbling fruit all over his face.
I do love how like blunt, and they did a good job of getting across his kind of like social. We'll get to it in the next in the like the second of 3 episodes of how kind of upfront and blunt he is, and he just doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, because in this one as well, he's like, she's like, "Fuck you, Tarzan. I'm having a picnic. You should come with me." And he's
she
like,
wants him to dress up nice.
Yeah, and he's like, "I'm not going to picnic. I don't want to go picnic." So he like storms.
He sounds so robotic though with some of his lines. I don't know why. It's just the way it's delivered. Because I've got a line here where she wants him to put on the suit. she wants him to dress up nice and stuff for their picnic, and then he's like, "I won't pretend to be something I'm not."
Yeah. And he's so like, he's just
and he goes,
so.
Zzz.
There's a bit where he's like talking to her. It's her dad, right?
Yeah.
Nutty professor guy.
Like a nutty professor guy who just keeps getting into situations where they're definitely trying to kill him.
Yeah. And he's like, maybe you should try, like, she lives in the jungle. She's been living here for a fucking year. Maybe you should live in her world for a day. And he just like straight up just goes, "No." And then walks off.
No, he doesn't. Wait, no. I swear, doesn't he? But that's the bit where he's like, "Oh yeah, you're right."
No.
Is it? Is that something else? Oh, is it? Okay, right.
It's before they go off to the picnic because he's like,
oh, okay, because there's a bit where he's sat in the tree with the dad, and then
no, not in the tree. He's like playing with some science shit, and he's like, maybe you should be in her boots for a day, and he's like, no, and then just walks up.
No, I swing.
No, I want to swing. I go fling shit now.
But
and then sorry, that was the thing, because he goes no, and then walks up, and then the professor just goes, aha, yes, that's my boy, haha. I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, the professor is on a whole other planet. This guy is just concocting.
He's found some mushrooms in the forest, and he's just on a fucking planet.
Yeah, he literally is. Because then Tarzan's in a tree, and he tries to climb up to him to chat with him, and that's when he kind of gives him the chat of like, she's lived in the jungle for a whole year. Don't you think she's homesick? And you could do this one fucking thing for her instead of swinging all the time. And he's like, oh yeah, well, I'll do that. And then he just leaves him in the tree, and he's just like, oh, I say, could you maybe help me down? I'll just stay here then. I was like, he's gonna fucking die in that tree. He's gonna die, like, he's gonna move and fall out of this tree and break his old bones. Every single episode, there is a situation where the dad almost dies, or is just, like, put in a perilous situation or something. They want to kill him off.
They just didn't have the balls to. They should have done it. They should
Disney were watching.
Yeah, they should have done, like, cut back to the present, and they're like, ah, yes, I remember when Dad said that. Such a shame he's dead now. I miss him every day. And they're like, yes, shame.
And there's like some crazy explanation for his death. He just invented something that exploded or something, and then I don't know. Yeah, it is. I mean, that's kind of what happens in one of the episodes. But yeah, I mean, you get all sorts of crazy stuff. The picnic is when they get attacked by maybe jaguars. I don't know, jaguars, panthers, whatever.
Yes.
They get attacked by them again.
Yes. So they call them panthers, but actually a panther is just a black-coated big cat. So like in Africa or Asia, it would be probably like a black leopard, and in South America, it'd probably be a black jaguar. So this would probably be a leopard, I guess. Even though it looks more like a jaguar. Anyway,
all I know
doesn't matter.
Is that they go, wow, wow. And, I mean, they're just relentless. They want to eat those three British. They're like, oh, British meat. Eat them.
Yeah.
And so you have the whole kind of, they're chasing them, and then they end up on a log or something, and the log splits, and they're going on a waterfall. Or not a waterfall, but like they in the rapids, sorry. And these three women, like, they're presented as kind of, like, dainty, prissy, kind of upper class, like, oh, the jungle, oh, it's so horrible, it's good heavens. And then they're on these fucking riding these rapids like they're for dear life, and they're fine. They're just on like some log or something. They're just like, wow.
All of these people are superhuman because
like these big cats after them.
They get saved by Tarzan, who just wrestles two leopards. Like he's still a person. I know he's been brought up by apes or whatever, but he's still a human. He's gonna get fucked up. The two of them.
He just fucks them up. And then that's kind of, I don't know. They're like, oh, the jungle was lovely, and then they leave.
Yeah.
That's kind of. And I think that you always have because it's these three small like episode things, so you get what they learned at the end, and that's probably why they picked those three that are very similar. And then he's like, oh, I didn't mind dressing up or something. I don't know. The whole thing was like him deciding to be slightly considerate of the fact that she spent a year in the jungle. Just fucking, I don't know, writing in her own shit and eating bugs. And then she's like, can you just put on some clothes? And he's like, oh, could you?
But so that you get the end of the first episode, and up to that point, I didn't realize that was a flashback.
Oh,
I thought, like, because I must have
you just
not
missed
been
that
paying
bit.
attention. So I thought her
sure.
friends had come over, being like, "Oh, hello, Tarzan, we're here for your anniversary," or whatever. And then they have a picnic.
Good smoker. Like 70 a day.
And then, yeah, like, so I was like, what the fuck? It was like, what's going
just
on?
left
It's just
in, like,
20
dream.
minute segments. I was like, this is just like a fucking Family Guy episode. Of just like, they're like, "Hey Lois, remember the time I tried to get Tarzan to find a blood diamond?" She's like, "Oh, Peter, I remember the time. Remember the time when a pilot tried to commit war crimes? Oh, Peter." Stay, Griffin. But yeah, I was just like, they've stolen Family Guy.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because it's literally they go to the present day, and then they're like, "Oh yes, I remember that," but she's like, "Oh, maybe Tarzan would like a diamond," and then the elephant or something goes, "But remember that time where Tarzan got a diamond?" And then it like goes like flashback into the next story.
And immediately you've got this fucking these guys getting off a little boat. One of them waving his shotgun around, and he's like, "These are dangerous lands."
Who's amazing because it's like the perfect thing of like he's an American doing a British accent. And it's just the most exaggerated accent ever. He's like, "Cool, blimey, I've got to find the diamond. Bloody hell, I've got to find it. And if Tarzan gets in my way, I'll bloody shoot him, I will."
Yeah, geezer. Yeah, because they are supposed to be, I don't know why I thought it's supposed to be American, because I made a note about, like, because they go and see, was it some fucking, like, gift shop or something? Who's the French guy?
Yeah, so that's the other question I had. So I thought, from what I remember from Tarzan, that it's just a remote, like, I still don't believe it's in Africa. I know they say it, but it's very like Amazon, the rainforest and stuff. But I was like, I thought they were on a remote, like, island or part of the jungle, like no one's lived there or anything. That's why they find Tarzan. And now there's like a gift shop or something?
Yeah.
Where they just go
some French dude who is like, you know, these guys come in and they're like, "Oh, we want a way up to the volcano." And he's like, "Then you will need Tarzan."
Yeah, and I was like, so Tarzan's doing fucking tours now.
Yeah, he's the fucking tour guide. And he just shows up, like, upside down through the doorway, and he's like, "I will not take you to the volcano." Or some shit,
and
I don't
then
know.
flings his shit at them or something.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, this capitalist man who doesn't understand why somebody wouldn't want money, because he's, like, trying to bribe the French guy, and he gives him some money, and then he's like, "Oh, well, I've got a couple of these for the tour guide as well." And he's like, "Oh, he doesn't want money." And he's like, "What do you mean? Like, who wouldn't want money?" I was like, "This guy, because he just wants to swing." You know,
all he wants is swing.
Yeah,
I would swing.
I did like when they're describing to him kind of what they're looking for, because he doesn't know what a diamond is, and they have a diamond on them to kind of give him an example, and they hand it to him, and he kind of, again, it's so animalistic. Like he crouches away from them for a second and like sniffs it, and then just licks the diamond, and the little lick, I just found it funny. It's like a comical,
it's like a
just a little,
yeah,
just to see what it's like. And he's like, "Oh yeah, I'll take you to find some diamonds," and then I mean they do, and it ends up being like they're there to. They use dynamite to like blow a hole in the side of the volcano.
Yeah, well, so
just like mine all the diamond and then kill Tarzan.
Yeah, well, so they get the elephant because they want to strap all this dynamite to him, to kill him.
Yeah.
No, so they need him to carry shit. And there's a bit where I think it's only Tarzan who's riding the elephant. And if you go to 32 minutes and 14 seconds, you can hear Tarzan go, "Crocodile!" Because he's just like so out of character. They're walking through the river, like stepping on rocks, and then one's a crocodile. The elephant steps on this crocodile, and then Tarzan, this calm, collected, just like, "No, I will not have a picnic. You cannot make me be something that I am not." And then just steps on a crocodile, and he's like, "Crocodile!" I was like, what? Why is he so shocked? He just beat up 2 panthers. Why is he so shocked at a crocodile?
And he proceeds to beat up all of those crocodiles with his bare hands.
Exactly.
Like rolling them around and shit.
Exactly. So why was he so taken aback when the elephant steps on a crocodile and he's like, "Whoa!"
Yeah. And the English guys as well, when Tarzan is talking to the elephant about whatever, I don't know, and he's like, "He's actually communicating with that beast." I was like, "You mean an elephant, right?" Like, they call everything a beast. They're like, "Oh, that beast." I was like, you know what an elephant is, right? Like, you know what it is. You didn't just come here and you're like, "Oh my god, look at that giant four-legged creature with huge ears and a big long tail for a face."
They go back to England to see someone walking their dog, and they're like, "Oh my word, look at that beast on a leash. Someone's petting that beast."
Yeah. "Look at that freak on a leash. Oh, wow."
I'd try and do it, but I'd just die.
Yeah, oh my god, you'd
just be like,
yeah. The video of that DJ was like, "Oh wow."
That's the old guy doing the audition. Have you seen that?
No.
He's doing Disturbed, and he's like, it's the and it's this old guy going,
You guys said that to me after this.
Yeah. Look it up, everyone. It's great.
Yeah, find that. Send it
but
to
yeah,
us.
so they go to the volcano, mine some diamonds.
Or I think in the meantime, Jane is trying to find out what he's up to or where he's going, and
because he didn't tell her.
Oh no! Oh, because he literally. Because the point of him helping them is he wants to find a diamond so that he can give her like a diamond ring because they're married at this point already.
Oh, yeah.
Right? That's the reason he goes with her. And he just wakes up. It's so funny, the image of him sleeping in a bed, and then like he wakes up and just crawls out of this bed across the floor. And she's like, "Oh, Tarzan, put a pot of tea on for me." And he's like,
It's like a spider.
Yeah. But he's leaving the house, and she goes out, and she's like, "Oh, where are you going, Tarzan?" And he's like, I'm going out. I may be back today or in a couple of days. Goodbye." And just leaves. I was like, what the fuck?
This guy's the worst fucking husband ever. Oh, no. He's like, "I don't want to do anything." She's like, "Will you not just like see my world for a day?" "No. I will not. I will not.
I will leave now for 2 days.
I will leave for 2 days. Here's my shit. I've flung it. What do you want for dinner? Fruit? Well, we're having fruit anyway. It's all we have."
"I have my spear. I shall get you some, I shall hunt you some fruit, and then I will be gone for 2 days."
He's always getting in fights as well. He's always beating up these panthers. And
the local wildlife.
Yeah. You're looking at me?
Yeah.
Tarzan, please, can we just have a nice
fighting.
dinner? Can we please just have a nice dinner? My friends are here from England. Can we please just be sitting like, "That panther's looking at me. Oi, you snake. Come here. If you got something to say it to my face, all right? You and your friend."
Can we get British Tarzan? Just like he just sees a fucking panther in the stalking him in the woods, and he's in the jungle, and he's like, all right, panther,
Hey, look at
all
me,
right, come here, you fuck, I'll take you on. Give me the eye, yeah.
It steps on a crocodile. It's like, oh, a crocodile, eh? All right then. You want to go, son? I'll fucking have you.
Oh.
He's wearing that little brown cloth and a fucking wife beater.
I thought you were gonna say like a fucking hell. What's the? I thought you were gonna say like a Peaky Blinders cap.
Oh yeah, like, one of them.
But it's just like some shitty fabric that he's like torn off of like a tent.
Yeah, it's the same brown cloth.
Yeah. And he's just like, oh, what goes on? She's like, oh, I do love how he's embracing the British culture.
And that is, her friends are all like, oh, he's such a wild, free spirit. Ooh. He's like, all right, I'll fling my shit at you, yeah? You want some shit? I'll fling at you, fucking twat. I'll have you.
And he's just got like a little twig as a cigarette.
Yeah.
Just lights a little twig on fire.
Stuck in it behind his ear.
Yeah.
He's got a pint in his hand. Or like, just like half a coconut or something.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you want some? He like cracks it open like a can of Stella.
Yeah.
Oh, get in the back, love. Get in the elephant.
Just pulls up.
Yeah.
All right, love, get in the back. Come on, I'll take you around. Let's go for a swig.
He sees what's his friend ape called? Like,
I don't remember.
It's
I
like
don't think they even
Taz
say
or
his
something.
name. Yeah.
He's like, oh, Taz, you alright, mate? You alright? Yeah, fling a shit at each other. Yeah.
How you doing, you twat?
How you doing, you fucking twat? Yeah, you fucking hell.
He just sits down, he's like, put a footy on.
Jay, put a footy on, love. Been swinging all day. Got this fruit for you, love. Put a footy on, I'm fucking starving.
Oh, man. I'd love that.
That was British Tarzan.
Yeah, British Tarzan.
Anyway,
yeah, so I think so. Jane goes to the random French gift shop guy to ask him, like, if he's seen Tarzan, where he's gone, whatever.
Yeah,
and this French guy's trying to fuck Jane. He's just like, he's just like, I mean, Tarzan is probably dead. You can rest your shoulder to cry. I have a shoulder you can cry on. If you want so to desire. Yeah, you know, you like to swing with him? Yeah?
I hear you like to swing, eh? Well, me and my wife, we like to swing too.
Yeah. You could say we are swingers.
British Tarzan comes in. You talking to my wife? Oi, we saying?
Pardon, sir. I did not mean that. It just like decks him. Come near my wife again.
I'll fucking kill you, blood.
Blood. He just Roadman Tarzan. I'd love that. That'd be great. Just to see him.
He's wearing a fucking hoodie.
No, he's just normal Tarzan, but he's got the like puffy black jacket. They're like Michelin Man puffy black jacket.
Oh, it killed me.
Just Roadman Tarzan. He's like, oi, pussy.
Yeah, and he's got his like all done up right to his chin. Like it's just the ice slit with his hands in his pockets. Like, look at me, mate. What you blood? You looking at me, yeah?
Oh man.
Oi, Jake, get in the back.
He's looking at this panther. He's like, come to my ends, fam.
You and your friend, I'll fuck you up.
Oh.
Hey, you know, that skin looks like my size, you know.
I'ma skin you, blood. Oh, that's great.
Anyway,
You've got the pinnacle British Tarzan over the ages. He just evolves for a bear.
Yeah, that's like it was the Cockney one, and then a year into their marriage, he's devolved into the roadman.
And then after like another year, he's doing like fucking TikToks, and he's like one of the TikTok fuck boys.
Yeah, he's doing like the biting of the lip, like sheesh.
Yeah, he's like, you're gonna make me act up.
Sure.
That's great. That would be such a better film. Each film, each of the flashbacks, it's like Jane looking back at her life as this old woman. She's like, you know, maybe not old, but she's just like looking back at a time in Africa because she's gone back home now.
Yeah, she's gone back home and left him
after 3 years, and she was like, yes, well, he was a different man when I met him. And then it's just his progression as like Cockney to roadman to fucking TikTok marathon. Great.
He's got like the sleeve tattoo and everything.
Yeah. The fucking thickly gelled hair just sticking up.
Yeah, it's still the disgusting
long
dreadlocks that he's got, but it's like gelled upwards now.
Yeah. Anyway, we just fucking tangent for 5 years.
Well, so they Tarzan and the guys, they go to the volcano, they find the diamonds, and they're mining them. And then
because one of them is going to kill Tarzan before that, because he's obsessed with pointing at his shotgun at things.
He just wants to kill Tarzan straight off the bat. He's like, "I want to fucking kill him, I do."
Yeah, game in the eye, dude.
Yeah.
You know, and then he wants to kill him, but then the other one's like, wait, you want to kill him? Because that means you're going to have to, you know, you're going to have to mine all these diamonds and you're going to have to do all the work, or we could just wait till he does it and then we can kill him. I was like, just what? Leave Africa. You're going home. He's not going to follow you. He's helping you get these diamonds. And also, they needed his help to find to get to the volcano, which you'd surely be able to see on the island, like as a landmark. So they needed
walk straight.
Just walk, yeah. So they needed his help to get there. Do they not need his help to find the part of the fucking shoreline that they were at? Like, find the way back? They were like, let's just kill him. And then they die in the jungle. He like fought off all of these fucking crocodiles that came after them, like 50 crocodiles, and they want to kill him.
And all he wants as well, all Tarzan wants, is one diamond.
One
out of this fucking
thing to go on her finger.
There's 2 sacks of diamonds that they've got. They can't let him have just one diamond.
Yeah.
Just ridiculous.
True story of greed. You know? And then when he's so I think Jane and that end up there as well because they're trying to find him, and then they end up in the volcano somehow. They just like follow him in there. I don't remember. But the 2 British guys have their sacks of diamonds, and then they're running out and they blow up the entrance to the caves to the side of the volcano, which they blew into in the first place. And then they're stuck in there and the volcano is like starting to erupt. So then, they're barefoot. Like Tarzan and Jane are both barefoot, and the ground is cracking underneath them and lava is like seeping out. And they're like, oh, time to go. I was like, your feet would be just bloody blisters on the floor. But sure, you know, suspend the disbelief. Tarzan then, the professor guy, who, by the way, earlier in the episode, they try and kill him off twice in this, because earlier in the episode, he is like taking notes on this plant, because he researches everything.
Yeah.
He's taking notes on this plant, and the plant just keeps trying to eat him. And then it does just entirely consume him. And then Jane's like, I wonder where Tarzan is, and walks off. I was like, your dad is dying. He's like, you just cut back and he's being like slowly digested by this plant. You're like, what the fuck?
His eyes are being like boiled out of his skull. Just like melted.
And he's just there. But then in the volcano, he's stood there in the middle of all of this like volcanic eruptions around him, and then they managed to quickly nab him and save him. I was like, he would be burnt to shit. But he's just like, oh, I theorized that since the lava's breaking out of here, the hollow top of the volcano must be up there, and then that's we should be able to break out. And Tarzan grabs the little pickaxe thing, and he starts digging away at the ceiling, and he just punches the last bit of rock away. He's like digging all this stuff, and he's like, yeah, that'll be enough. Punches his fist through the rock. No wonder he's superhuman. And then they manage to get out and I guess fight them. I don't remember what happens then. They just kind of get away. Oh no, they're surfing on lava. That's what it was. Yeah, they have like a small bit of the rock, and they have this sequence where the rock is getting smaller as they're going, and they're just lava surfing down.
They're surfing on lava. So at that moment, right, and I don't know if it was my end or whatever. It was so weird because I checked my laptop and like played other videos. It was all fine, but for whatever reason, literally at that moment of their lava surfing, the rest of the film was their dialogue was so quiet, but everything else was normal.
Really?
Normal volume. Yeah, so I could barely hear.
I think mine was fine. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, what's going on? And I thought it was maybe an internet thing. No, couldn't get it to work. So all I could hear for the rest of the film was the music, the Foley effects, and then like fucking 10 miles away them going like, hey Tarzan, and I was like, what? What?
10 miles away you hear Tarzan just like, "I'll cut you, Blade."
Yeah. You fucking what, blood? I'll fuck you up.
Well, I've got some good quotes from the last of the 3 episodes. In case you missed them.
So I don't. All I have from now on is just like I wrote down.
You just wrote the Foley effects down.
I wrote down
bang, crash.
anything that was said that I could hear, and it's not a lot. It's under 10. There's like 10 sentences that I wrote down as what I think that they said, and that was it. That's all I've got, because I was like, I can kind of tell what's happening through the visuals and the sound effects. I have no idea what they were saying. I've got I took a video of it weird. As well, so I'll send it to you after. Maybe we'll put it on Instagram, the little videos so people can.
Well, possibly. Disney might come crashing down with that.
Ah, yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
They'll be like, no, we upped the music because people kept taking these specific clips.
Yeah.
Just so that the system can identify it easier.
Yeah, maybe not then. But yeah, you can imagine what it sounds like back home. Yeah. I'll send it to you after. But it was just insane. So, I mean, if you want, I'll just list them off what I could hear.
Oh, yeah. Before you do, just at the end of that, the episode with our lava surfing, I'm assuming since the volcano erupted that the whole jungle got polluted with ash and it killed all the trees.
Yeah.
Now they have to migrate underground. So that was an interesting timeline to explore.
And the surrounding area that just like burnt all the wildlife with the lava.
It's all dead. It's all dead.
Everything's dead. Yeah. But yeah, so the next story is basically there's 2 pilots. One of the pilots shoots down the other pilot. The
for reasons
pilot,
unknown.
For reasons unknown. The guy, the second pilot who didn't get shot down lands. Turns out he knows Jane, and then he wants something. Then they have a bit of a fight, and then he gets arrested or something. So this is all I heard. There was someone. It was the dad. He just goes radio. There's something about cricket. So he wants to know
this is
something
all I'm
about
up.
cricket.
Yeah.
The pilot is her brother.
No.
Okay. The pilot will say something.
This is getting interesting. Yeah,
Jane's not sure about something because she.
No, I understand where the brother thing came from. Yeah.
Okay, so Jane's not sure about something because she goes, "I'm not sure." The elephant has sensitive hair follicles. He shouts, "I have sensitive hair follicles." I don't know what that was about. And then Tarzan doesn't like, and then in brackets I put tea, but it could have been anything because I couldn't hear the end of it. Jane shouts, "God save the Queen," before throwing a cane at the pilot. She lobs this cane. She goes, "God save the Queen." And then Jane says, "Whip to be tied up," actually. That's all I could hear. Jane says, "Are you working to the plane?" Jane goes, "Gentlemen," and then it goes, and that's it. That's all I could hear.
That's amazing. There was actually some good lines from this as well.
So the
first line I've got here. So basically, we see this pilot shoot down another pilot, and it's like, "Oh, sorry there, Jimmy, but I have to do this." The pilot, by the way, sounds like there's no credit for that pilot, I think, on IMDb.
Right.
I can't remember what his name is now, but I looked for his name and I couldn't find it. But he sounds like Matt Berry.
Oh my god, could you imagine if it was Matt Berry?
And I genuinely thought it was him because it sounds like his voice on Disenchantment, where he does Prince Mortimer, whatever his name is.
Yeah. The pig.
The pig, yeah, ends up being a pig, yeah. So he's literally he's I don't know if I could do a good enough impression, but yeah, he's just like that. And he arrives and he's like, "Oh, Jade, yes, I've just landed here. I came to see you." And then Tarzan's like, just in front of him, just fucking. This is what we were saying about him just being up front. He's like, "I don't trust him. When I look into his eyes, I see Saber looking back. Sabor, whatever his name is. The fucking cheetah, leopard, whatever it was."
Jesus Christ.
But he was just like, "I don't trust him. When I look into his eyes, it's like I see Saber looking back." I was like, fuck, dude. That's great.
Damn. What a savage, like... You know that you can insult someone by swearing at them or like calling them a fat twat or something. The most insulting, hurtful lines, apart from racial slurs, are the ones where you don't swear and it's just like
the sentiment is there.
It's just a normal hurtful thing. Like if you went up to someone and you're like, "You're a fucking twat, I hate you," they'd be like, "Yeah, fuck you, mate." If you went up to them...
in Britain, that's how it goes in Britain.
Yeah. If you went up to them and you're like, "You're an awful person and you deserve to perish in hell," they'd be like, "Oh."
No, wait, it's that genuine just being like, "I genuinely don't believe that you're a good person. You're an you're an awful person, and I don't wish to."
I don't wish to...
like over,
I don't wish to ever talk to you again. They'd be like, "Oh,
I wish you pain." You know, and it's like, whoa, what the fuck? This is a bit much. But yeah, it's that calm kind of. He's just like, it's like I see this because he's saying that he doesn't trust him. He doesn't think he's a good person, whatever. And then because it's kind of like the elephant and the gorilla are like, "Oh, looks like it's going to be a bit of a love triangle." Hoo-hoo. And the gorilla's like, "Humans, they make this relationship stuff so complicated." And I was like, that gorilla fucks. It just dips and quits. Doesn't get tied down.
You're not wrong.
I mean, I think, I don't know how old this gorilla is supposed to be canonically, but we're just going to, you know, the gorilla is old. Yeah, the gorilla
fucks. The gorilla fucks. The gorilla fucks.
There's another quote I've got where, because he is like chatting with Jane and being like, "Oh, all nice and remember this and blah blah blah," because they knew each other, I don't know, from school or something. She has a line where she says, "He's like a brother to me," which is
right. Okay, yeah. I just said, "Dear brother."
So he just casually, he's like trying to snoop around and find something. And she comes in, she's like, "Are you snooping?" And he's like, "Oh, no, dear. I was just looking for, that I gave you this box some time ago. And I was really hoping that you had this musical box still, because there's a girl that I'm rather into back home, and I'd like to give it back. I'd like to give it to her instead." And she finds it, and she's like, "Oh, this is nice. Let's play this little tune or whatever." Turns out that box holds like a bunch of secret British codes, and he's a fucking double agent for the Germans.
Yeah, and he's going to sell
because
it to them.
He whips out this Luger, and he's... Because she accidentally knocks over the thing, and then it starts spilling out all these codes, and she's like, what's this? This looks like some kind of
British
code
code
or something. And she's like, "You're not some kind of secret agent, are you?" And he just whips out this Luger, and he's like, "Actually, it's more like double agent." I was like, nice. And then they find the other pilot who was trying to stop him, I think, before. And his name is Nigel, and he's got ginger hair, and he's British. And I was like, "It's Nigel Thornberry." Man, we need to see if... I hope it's not for the sake of the fact that I love the Thornberrys, from what I remember. But we've got to check and see whether their film... Because they had a film, and I wonder whether the film rated low enough to be on the show.
I'll look it up. I'd love to do some of the Rugrats films as well.
Oh, yeah. Do a bit of Rugrats. I had a PlayStation 1 Rugrats game that genuinely scared me at one point, because you've got a mission where you've got to go through the house in the dark, and you have to scare away the ghosts with like a torch, but your torch can run out of battery, and then you just have nothing, and the ghosts just get you.
Jesus Christ.
And I was just like, you have limited battery. I think you can find more, and you've got to try and find people to help you get up high enough so you can open the fridge and get rid of all the ghosts with the light from the fridge.
Yeah.
But I don't think I ever completed it. I could probably, if I went back to it now, I'd be like, "Oh, I was just a dumb kid." But like, I remember it being really difficult, and then you just got all of these ghosts that like float towards you, and you've got to point your flashlight at them and make them go away, and then you just run out of battery, and they're like, "We're coming for you." They didn't do that, but yeah, might as well.
So, well, yeah, I think great. I've found the standalone ones are a bit too highly rated.
Oh, really?
But I have
good,
found
because it's a good. I want it to be a good film, but
good,
still.
But also the perfect happy medium. Rugrats Go Wild, which is the collab between Rugrats and the Wild Thornberrys.
Perfect.
5.6 on IMDb and 39% on Rotten Tomatoes. So
I think I saw that when I was younger.
Yeah, I love that.
It. Yeah, that's great. Oh, we're doing that.
Yeah, 100%.
We've done a lot of tangents in this episode. But anyway, point is, Nigel Thornberry then says to Tarzan, "Oh, this dude's pretty whack. He's not a good guy. We should go stop him." And Tarzan, I swear, every time Tarzan swings in the show, probably because they're different episodes, so it makes sense that it's done multiple times. But he'll just swing in and be like, "Ah!"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, he did that already, like 10 minutes ago." But yeah, it's probably because they're different episodes. That makes sense. But yeah, so he whips out that Luger, and it looks like he's going to shoot Jane, but then he just ties her up and puts her in the biplane with him and is flying off. Tarzan just like, he throws his spear into the side of the plane, which has a rope attached to it, and just full on climbs his way up onto the plane. Like, this is some Marvel action shit.
Yeah, he's part of the Avengers.
Yeah, Tarzan's part of the Avengers. You have Iron Man, Thor, Black Widow, Tarzan.
Oh, Jesus Christ. And they're trying to have like an Avengers meeting, like, this is a world level threat. We've got to do something. Tarzan's just like, oh, fling shit, just like smearing his shit on the windows, writing his name backwards.
Hulk's like, I'm not even this bad.
Yeah, Hulk's just like, this fucking guy.
Yeah, right. Want to swing?
Tony Stark tries to build him an iron suit for Tarzan, so he's a bit more robust against like real world threats, and he just fucking smashes it up. He's like, I don't wear clothes.
Brilliant.
That was Avengers Tarzan.
And that was Avengers Age of Tarzan.
There's no enemies. It's just dealing with him.
Oh, he would make he's the Marvel villain, that's what he is. He's like Kraven the Hunter, but it's just Tarzan.
He's Kraven the Hunter, but worse.
Yeah. Oh, man. But yeah, so Jane is tied up in the back of this biplane, and when Tarzan goes to save her and he starts fighting the dude on the biplane, she just puts the rope in her mouth and just tears it open with her teeth and breaks out of the ropes. I was like, damn, okay, it was that easy. She was just, what she was doing, she was biding her time. She knew what she was doing. You know, she didn't need Tarzan to come save her. She's been like, you know, building up that muscle in the jungle, doing all this swinging and climbing and shit. She just breaks out of those fucking bonds. She's like, no, this is my biplane now.
She goes and fights the Germans.
Yeah, just punches them out. And then flies the biplane. And then, well, she actually has to fly the biplane. She manages to get the radio working, because that episode her dad has been obsessed with trying to get a radio to work. And of course, at some point earlier on, they try and kill the dad off again, because he's trying to get the radio to work and somehow sets like the whole camp on fire. And so they have to go and save him.
The effect on that is so funny as well, because they put the flames in front of him as well as behind, so it looks like he's just engulfed. Like, he's gone. But
she like gets him to tell her how to fly a plane, and then she lands it, and they're fine. But then it comes back to present day, and I called it at the beginning because they just put it together super quick, super easy, don't even think about it. But I called it where Jane is like, yes, you're right. I shouldn't pressure Tarzan into being civilized like me. I guess we just won't celebrate anything for our anniversary. Yeah. And then she goes back to the treehouse, and then it's like, surprise! And they're all there, and Tarzan's in a suit, and she turns around, and she's like, you to her. to the elephant and the gorilla. You knew all along.
Oh no. Turns around. You
and then he's got a suit on, and he's like, I've got you a diamond ring, Jane. And she was like, yeah. That's funny.
She's like, well,
about this earlier.
She's like, well, a year late, actually, but okay.
Yeah. And then, of course, they have a musical number.
Yeah.
But, to wrap it all up in true Disney fashion.
And that's it. That's
the film.
That's
really.
The film. Or that's 3 episodes of a show that never aired.
Yeah, yeah. So the question now is, fuck, marry, kill.
Well, so it's fuck, marry, kill. It's got to be, do you fuck, marry, kill Cockney Tarzan, Roadman Tarzan, or TikTok fuckboy Tarzan?
Yeah. Oh, that's great. I mean, kill TikTok Tarzan. I'm not going anywhere near that. I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole. Kill it dead.
But which one are you marrying? I feel like if you...
I feel like you've got to... I feel like...
Cockney Tarzan's probably more the jealous type, you know?
Yeah, but I feel like he'd kind of... I don't know, I feel like the Cockney Tarzan would probably hit you as much as he would anyone else. whereas the Roadman one, I don't know, he'd have the
He won't hit you, but he might stab you.
Yeah, well, I feel like he'd just stab everyone you know for like looking at you or something. I don't know.
And everyone that you know is just wild animals,
Yeah,
half of
exactly.
which you fight anyway. So
Yeah, so I'd say you marry him and you just fuck the Cotton guy. You know?
yeah, all right. I'm with that.
Yeah.
You're not fucking fuckboy. TikTok fuckboy.
No, he's
Tarzan,
dead.
Probably.
He died very early on.
But he's probably got a lot of practice in him.
No, because it's all show and no. it's all show and no tell,
God damn
right?
it! You're killing me. All right, yeah.
You know, he's like, "Are you about to make me act up?" Doing the like, you know, he's rubbing his hands together. Then, yeah, exactly. and then he's like, and there's like, Tarzan, time for dinner. And he's like, Mum, I'm doing a TikTok.
Oh god. All right, well, I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
Bad film, good.
Oh, bad film, bad. Bad film, straight bad. Normally, I'm like, well, you know, it's got some merits, whatever. It's just, I mean, it's a kids thing as well. You got to take that into account. Like, there were certain bits I enjoyed for the comedic value in a meta sense, I guess. But just bad film, not good. I can't get past the choppily thrown in animation. Where they were like, all right, stitch it together with a bit of, just hand draw some shit.
I go with, I'm definitely bad film bad. I feel like it's a bit unfair on my end because half of it was just like shit audio.
Yeah, that's true.
But I think the film,
you could also see it as immersive.
Bad film bad, but I think like bad TV show probably fine for what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
If these were just episodes of that kids show, then they'd be no worse than any of the other episodes.
Yeah, it's like it would be a different kind of story, but just throwing them together as a film. I wonder why it was so short. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
but
it's just so stupid. But yeah, should we read some reviews for this masterpiece?
Oh, let's get in on the. We discussed this previously, just before the episode. We both don't have much because there really isn't much on this film because it's just a dusty corner, straight to video, 3 episodes cut together masterpiece. But I mean, as usual, Aiden, tell us where you get your.
Yeah, so I got mine off IMDb. This is from Ross Robinson. This was from 2004, so
a couple years after. Yeah,
this is 10 out of 10.
Whoa!
Yeah. And it says, Tarzan and Jane, I think, is another good Disney movie. This one didn't go to the cinemas, and it was decided to go straight to video instead. This movie carries on with what was left at the end of the first animated movie. In brackets, he's put Tarzan 1999.
In case people were confused as to what.
Yeah. Continue on.
Does this mean it takes place before Tarzan 2? I want to know the timeline.
I think I don't know. He just says Tarzan 1999. This movie was made in 2002, based with the same background, in brackets, still in the same brackets, the jungle, close brackets. And the same characters and also featuring new kind of characters. I did like this movie because it was quite funny and it was from Disney, which I think is a great company, and the company make excellent movies from Disney. Disney was carried on after Walt Disney died in the 60s. I was glad for this to carry on, because after Walt's death, there has been some more fantastic movies that came out in the 1970s, 1980s, 1990s, and 2000s. In 2000, there was another movie movie based on Walt Disney's fantastic work Fantasia 2000 was the movie. There's no punctuation in this, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Fantasia 2000 was the movie to mark the 60th anniversary as the first Fantasia movie was made in 1940. I hope there will be a third Fantasia movie, as I think the graphics are amazing and brilliant. Overall, I give Tarzan and Jane 10 out of 10.
Look, I'm learning some things, things that I didn't know to care about before, and I don't care about now. So good. That was great. Well, I've got one from, again, there was no audience reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, and whenever there's no audience reviews, it gives the classic line saying, there are no audience reviews yet, because this film has not yet released. So I'm waiting eagerly for the 2002 release of this film. Yeah,
it's going to be great, I think.
Yeah, almost 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Jeffrey Chen, who I think is, it was one of the critic reviewers, in September of 2002, so probably when it came out, he was hot on it.
Yeah.
He gave it a 2 out of 10 stars and said, created with the effort it would take to cut 3 pages out of a magazine and stapling them together to form your own magazine. And you know what, Jeffrey? You're goddamn right.
Yeah,
they took 3 pages out of a magazine, 3 episodes out of a show, and stapled them together to form its own film. I hope you've gone far, Jeffrey, in your endeavors.
Jeffrey Chen.
Jeffrey Chen.
Our first
savior critic.
Our first critic that hasn't slandered a film that we love.
Yeah, well, I mean,
we didn't
say we like this film is, a bit of a stretch. But you know what, Jeffrey? I hope you haven't done anything bad since that we don't know about, and we get in trouble for. But you're doing good, kid. These days, I mean, you're like, oh, this person's nice, and then you actually look at things they've done, you're like, oh no,
oh god,
faith in humanity is dwindling.
But look, we've looked at some dumb shit about the film, but should we look at some real life dumb shit?
Hit me with some skibbity beat bap real life dumb shit.
So this is I've kind of got 2 short ones that are kind of related to each other. Yeah,
you've taken 2 short stories from your collection of short stories and stapled them together to make one long story. He did it.
They are relevant. So the first one was just like I once got a toy cuddly rhino from a zoo, I suppose, somewhere, and my mum was like, "What are you going to call it?" I was like, being, I don't know, 8 or something, I was like, "I'm going to call it Horny." and Mum fucking laughed at me. I couldn't understand why she was laughing.
Oh, you poor kid.
And then she told my sister, and my sister started laughing. And again, I couldn't understand why they were laughing. So then eventually Mum explained what horny meant, and I had a tantrum and stormed upstairs and refused to cuddle the toy. And then,
great.
A separate time, I think it was a little bit older this time. I think
8.5.
Yeah, 8.5. I think this was for a World Cup or something. But Dad typed my and my brother's name into a Brazilian name generator and printed them on Brazilian shirts. But like, I don't know why he did it. Just something
for the shits and giggles. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. And my brother's was just normal. His name's Declan as well, so it's like Decliano or something like that.
Yeah.
And mine came out, and it said a dildo.
Yeah.
And my dad saw this and still printed it out. And everyone in my family was laughing at me. And I didn't understand why they were laughing. Because I was like, yeah, a dildo. That's cool. Why is everyone laughing? I'm a dildo. and everyone found it like the funniest thing.
Oh,
and then, again, eventually, Mum explained what a dildo was. And I stormed upstairs in a tantrum again.
Amazing.
So that's my 2 tantrum stories.
Oh,
both
God.
about horny dildos.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
That's great.
Yeah. That's about everything that we've got for this week. I apologize for all the coughing I've been doing. Hopefully next week I won't. I'll be better or I'll be dead. One of the 2.
Either one works for us.
Next week we're going to be doing the 2021 came out this year Cinderella, which I'm excited for. You can watch that on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
If you want to keep up to date with us, we're on Instagram and Twitter at badfilmgood, all one word. We put up little posts and clips of the episodes, so you can give us a follow there. Get into contact with us on those platforms as well if you want to give us your own real dumb shit story.
Ooh.
That'd be good. That'd be fun. Or you can send us an email at badfilmgood@gmail.com. Send us your stories there. A good thing to do to help support the show is give us a 5-star review or tell a friend about us, get them to listen. That'd be awesome. But as always, we'll leave you with an inspirational quote from Inspirabot, which is a randomly generated image with a randomly generated quote slapped on top of it.
Just slapping it on.
Slapped on top. What have you got? What have you got
So
from
this week,
Inspirabot?
I've got what looks like a some kind of like harvester kind of machine or whatever that is hooked up to some horses. You got a farmer dude with his farmer's hat sat in the kind of in between bit as the horses are slowly pulling it along. It's a couple of people who I thought were regular sized people, and that it was some weird thing where the horses were huge, but they're actually just kids. So.
Okay.
You got some kids stood to one side. You know, you got the different kind of levels of grass where they've been cut, and some bits are kind of clumping up and everything. And then the quote in the sky says, "Think positive, attack, and never, never don't do that." Just keep it in mind.
Wait a minute. Wait, like counting on my fingers, like never, never, don't, never, never,
don't do that.
The nevers cancel each other out, so I don't do it. Amazing. Mine is it's a lovely forest with a woman in a wedding dress. She's like walking up some nice cobbled steps through this forest. It's very nice. Maybe after she's just got married, she's walking away from us, and all the text says is, "Yell at him." So there you go, ladies and gentlemen.
Yell at him and never don't do that.
Thank you very much for listening. I'm going to die now. Goodbye.
Stay coffee.
Stay coffee.
Oh,
Not
God.
the drink, but the illness.
Yeah. Don't.
All right. Never don't. All right. Bye.
Bye.